Hi guys, I'm the Lag Dr. Clay Ballard, and today we're doing the third video in a series of videos on Tiger Woods swing. We're going to be completing the backswing. I'm going to talk about how you can get a great full shoulder turn, feel like you have a lot of power, and conserve that energy for the downswing. We're going to talk about getting those arms high and wide to help with your leverage and your power in your swing, and we're also going to give you a great tip on preventing getting stuck. So if any of those sound like things that you'd like to learn how to do, go ahead and stay tuned. I also have some great bonuses for you at the end of this video, so be sure to stick around for those also. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's start from face on here. Last video we talked about completing the takeaway motion. Now we're going to talk about completing the backswing, which is continuing that turn all the way to the top of the swing. And the first thing I want to mention is the shoulder turn. This is really important for power and speed in the golf swing. You know, notice that his shoulders have about 100 degrees of rotation there. Maybe not everybody will be able to get 100 degrees of rotation depending on your flexibility. Everybody will be able to get 90. I've had guys with fused disc in their back that could still get 90 degrees of shoulder turn with a little bit of work and using the proper motions. Now, I also want to mention his back here. Notice how his back is facing the target. That's something that's more of a trust issue, and that's something that I can definitely relate with. I played left-handed for a couple of weeks last year to see if I could learn anything that would help my teaching. And one thing that I realized was incredibly difficult was to turn away from the ball this way. I felt like if my chest turned away from this golf ball, so if the golf ball is down here and my chest is turned so far away from that golf ball to where I'm really loaded up, I felt like I may not be able to get back down to the ball, and I couldn't trust that I would be able to put the club on the ball. Well, I had to kind of fight that and realize that, okay, I know I have to turn away from the ball. I've done that in my full swing. I know all great players do that. I'm just going to make this big turn and keep turned and fight the urge to rip everything open. And that's exactly what you're seeing Tiger here doing, is he's closing his shoulders to the ball, facing away from the ball at the top. And even as he starts down, notice how he's quite a bit into his downswing, and those shoulders aren't ripping open right away. You know, we can go all the way to where his hands are about chest high here, a little above chest high, and that the shoulders are still perpendicular to the ball. So that's a trust issue more than anything else, and that's something I can relate with because I really fought with. But once I started to get that better turn, now I had a lot more power, and I picked up a lot of distance swinging left-handed. I was very, very short before I got my shoulder turn. Started getting a better turn, I started getting more distance. Now let's go ahead and zoom in with a different camera angle and take a look at the hands and arms as he completes the backswing. Okay, so here what we're going to see is that the hands and arms are very high and wide away from his body. So he's feeling like he's reaching up toward the sky and very wide here in the backswing. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to feel like you're reaching up and out away. Most people's tendencies, instead of getting the hands to be up here nice and wide as they are with Tiger's swing, we're going to have a tendency to keep these arms and hands closer to our body, and the hands being in this circle. Now the reason for that, again, is it's partly a trust thing where I feel like, or everyone feels like, if we can keep our hands closer to our body, we have more control, it's a more compact swing, and we're more connected. That's really not what we're looking for. It's going to be very difficult to create speed unless we get these arms high and wide. So trust that and feel like you're reaching up and out to really get these arms loaded up. The higher I can get these hands and the farther away from my body, the more leverage I'm going to have and the bigger swing arc I'm going to be able to create as I'm starting my downswing. That equals more distance and more efficient distance. You're not going to have to try as hard to create that distance and club head speed. Now lastly here, what I want to talk about is keeping the arms where they feel like they're pretty well in front of your chest as you complete the backswing. Here's a great way to measure that. If you're swinging a driver, go ahead and mark your right shoulder at the top of the backswing, and then mark the butt end of the club. You'll notice here that Tiger's club is probably 2 to 3 inches outside of that shoulder line, and that's about the most I want to go. So if I draw a line on my right shoulder, maybe the right shoulder's a little bit more in there, but I don't want to get too far outside of this line. The reason for that is as I start to go farther and farther out here, so if my butt end of the club is on this X here, that's a very low and around your body swing. You're going to struggle with getting stuck, and you're going to feel like you really have to rip open as you're starting down. If you can get these hands nice and high and really feel like you're reaching, keeping them in front of your chest as Tiger is here, now look at all this leverage you have as you're coming down into this ball. You get this huge amount of space for your arms to swing and a lot of leverage from keeping the hands nice and high. Imagine now if the club was very low, the butt end of the club was here, it was more flat and around my body. Now I'm creating smaller amount of leverage and I'm not going to have as much speed and power in the swing. So that's a good key to focus in on, is when you get to the top, let's keep that club no more than 2 or 3 inches outside the shoulder line here. I would shoot more for somewhere around here if we're talking ideal. And then with a pitching wedge or the shorter irons, it's going to get even more upright and you're going to get closer and closer to this line. So no more than 2 or 3 inches with the driver. I would say no more than 1 inch or 1.5 inches with a wedge, and that's going to get you right where you need to be. So you're really not going to have to focus on trying to get closer with a wedge. It's just going to happen naturally because you're on a more upright plane. So that's something I would really recommend for a lot of people that feel like they're struggling with power and they feel like they're kind of getting stuck and ripping open in the downswing. Get those hands a little bit more in front of your body as you're completing the backswing. One thing I wanted to go over for you guys in this video, which is part of the premium Rotary Swing membership, is our video player, our Rotary Swing video player. And the way this works is we teach the golf swing. If you'll notice here on this tabs on the left, we start with the first step, which would be introduction. We're going to teach you what you need to know to learn the golf swing. Then we're going to go step 2 would be setup, weight shift, takeaway, backswing, all the way on down through until you're at the follow through. So it's very much a systematic approach. You're going to start with your core fundamentals of each step and then build upon that as you're moving along through it. So here in the backswing section, or let's actually start from the beginning. Let's imagine I'm going to do, I've watched the introduction videos. Now I'm ready for setup. If I go over here to this next page, you're going to see there's setup basics, and this is going to teach me everything I need to know to have a good setup in golf. It's going to go through all these motions. If I want even more than that, and I'm still want to learn a little bit more, I can go to setup advanced, and now there's a whole lot more videos on other issues with setup. So the core fundamentals of the setup are going to be covered in these setup basics, and if I want to click on one of these videos, the first one to get started, I'm going to go over here and push play, and then I can scroll back up to the video player. And now here is a video of me going over setup for you guys. So it's really broken down a very systematic approach to walk you through the golf swing and to help you build a fundamentally sound golf swing from start to finish instead of just random tips. So on YouTube you're going to get more of the random tips and different checkpoints and things like that. This is going to be a more systematic approach on our full Rotary Swing membership. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like the video, be sure to click the like button below, post your comments below, and I'll try to answer each and every one of those that I can get to. And as a bonus for you all, I'm going to play a short preview of the Move 2 completing the backswing video. If you want to watch that entire video, click the link that pops up in the bottom right hand side of your screen or in the description. If you're on a mobile device, that's going to take you to where you can sign up for your free Rotary Swing membership, watch that entire video absolutely free of charge, plus about 4 hours of bonus instruction included with your free membership. So I look forward to seeing you guys much more in the future. Good luck completing your backswing, and I'll see you soon.
Once you've mastered the setup, the weight transfer, and move 1, it's time to start looking at move 2. Now typically when we do our clinics and we do one-on-one lessons, we focus primarily on setup, weight transfer, moves 1 and 3. 2 is pretty much a movement about this far. It's a tiny, tiny movement. It's a detail, but it's how you finish and get to the top of the swing for a full golf swing. As you're learning this, I highly recommend you stick with the 9 to 3 drills rather than worrying about getting all the way to the top of the swing, because